The modern American dream is fairly straightforward. Graduate from school, go to college, earn your degree, find a job, and establish your career. But for many millennials, some of these steps are harder than others. Whether you're struggling to find a job or to get through school, you may have already realized that the standard American dream isn't for everyone. Before we explore these celebrity resumes, make sure to subscribe to The Richest by clicking on that subscribe button below. And don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. To help inspire your own American dream, we've compiled 10 rich celebrities who don't have a college degree. LeBron James. Our first celebrity is certainly a high scorer. With a net worth estimated at $400 million, LeBron James is one of the highest paid NBA players of all time. He's right up there with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Even more impressive, LeBron became the youngest player to reach the historic 30,000-point career milestone in January 2018. LeBron's successful career started back in high school when he was recruited to join the St. Vincent-St. Mary basketball team in Akron, Ohio. By his junior year, he was already thinking about going pro, but LeBron finished high school and became the first-round pick of the NBA draft in 2003. Arguably one of the most successful professional basketball players of all time, LeBron James decided to give back to his community and reinvest in education. He founded the LeBron James Family Foundation and, in 2011, started the I Promise program. Working with the University of Akron, the program will give 2,300 students full scholarships after they complete certain criteria. This then inspired him to start his own school and even go back to school himself. In a 2016 interview, he mentioned that he was enrolled in a few courses at the University of Akron. However, a college degree never helped him to become successful. Ellen DeGeneres. Before she became a trailblazing TV host and LGBT icon, Ellen DeGeneres wanted to be a veterinarian, but she quickly abandoned that idea because she wasn't book smart. Despite this, she still enrolled at the University of New Orleans after high school and majored in communication studies. However, her studies were short-lived. After one semester, Ellen dropped out and started working. She hit the pavement running by working dozens of odd jobs: house painter, waitress, vacuum salesman, and even an oyster shucker. She soon began performing stand-up in comedy clubs in the early 80s. This led to her big break in 1986 when she was invited to perform on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. From there, she started making the rounds on other talk shows and had minor roles on sitcoms. By 1994, she landed her own network sitcom on ABC, Ellen. 3 years later, Ellen made waves when both she and her TV show character came out as gay. While the road wasn't easy, Ellen re-established her comedic prowess voicing Dory in Pixar's 2003 blockbuster Finding Nemo. That same year, her beloved talk show premiered on NBC. It's safe to say that the rest is history. Bill Gates. The next 3 people on this list prove that you don't need a formal education to be innovative and successful. The most successful, however, is undoubtedly Bill Gates. Born in 1955, this Washington native was an avid reader as a child. Encouraged by his mother, he left public school at age 13 to enroll in the preparatory Lakeside School. His parents hoped that it would provide more of a challenge to their son, who seemed bored at his former school. While there, a local computer company provided students with access to an early computer. By the time he graduated in 1973, Bill had already written programs in basic computer language and achieved a 1590 out of 1600 on his SATs. From there, Bill was called to Harvard University, where he enrolled in the law program. But despite his studies, he spent most of his time in the computer labs. After 2 years of studying and much to his parents' dismay, Bill dropped out of Harvard. He and his childhood friend Paul Allen would instead found the technology company Microsoft. Currently one of the wealthiest people in the world, Bill insists that young people today should still earn a degree. He feels that getting a degree is a much surer path to success. And what would Bill Gates study if he returned to college today? He would major in artificial intelligence, energy, and biosciences. He feels that they are some of the fastest growing industries in America today. Michael Dell. With a net worth of approximately $23.5 billion, Michael Dell has certainly done well for himself. Like Bill Gates, Michael capitalized on the tech boom of the 80s and 90s. Additionally, his interest in computers also began in school. Upon graduation, he enrolled at the University of Texas as a pre-med student, but in his spare time, he would collect old computers, upgrade them, and sell them straight out of his dorm room. This proved to be so successful that Michael dropped out of school after his freshman year to start selling his computers off campus. His business model was so successful that he saw $6 million in sales after his first full year. Despite some rocky years, Michael became the youngest CEO to ever lead a Fortune 500 company in 1992. Nearly 30 years later, he and his company have been doing so well that he was able to buy the most expensive penthouse on Manhattan's Billionaires Row in 2014. Mark Zuckerberg. If you haven't seen the Oscar-winning film The Social Network, then the next person on our list comes with a minor spoiler alert. The movie is based around famous college dropout Mark Zuckerberg and the origins of Facebook. Then called thefacebook.com, Zuckerberg launched the site during his sophomore year at Harvard in 2004. Due to the website's success, he dropped out of Harvard. Soon after, he was sued by 3 Harvard classmates for reportedly stealing their work and idea. They claimed he had helped them develop the site, but then ran off with it, leaving them in the dust. The famed Winklevoss twins eventually settled the case in 2008 for $20 million and 1.253 million shares in Facebook common stock. They went on to compete in the 2008 Summer Olympics in Beijing and attempted to revive their lawsuit against Zuckerberg. They eventually stopped in 2010. As Facebook continues to grow as one of the largest websites on the internet, Mark Zuckerberg's wealth grows as well. But in 2015, he and his wife pledged to donate 99% of Facebook shares worth nearly $45 billion through their Chan Zuckerberg initiative. Brad Pitt. One of the 21st century's most recognizable faces, Brad Pitt is no doubt a rich, successful actor. And yes, he's also a celebrity college dropout. Brad was born in Shawnee, Oklahoma in 1963. After graduating from high school, he enrolled at the University of Missouri. A mere 2 weeks before graduating from one of the top journalism programs in the nation, Brad had a moment of epiphany, dropped out of school, and moved to Los Angeles. There, he drove limousines and delivered refrigerators while searching for his big break. In less than a year, Brad had found an agent and was landing roles. But it seems that Brad Pitt has had a change of heart. A 2013 interview with Esquire finds the star regretting his decision. He admitted that he was only 2 credits and 1 paper away from graduating. Luckily for Brad, one of his former professors offered to let him make up the credits and finally graduate. We're still waiting to see if he'll ever take him up on that offer. Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren was born in 1939 in the Bronx, and 50 years after founding his fashion empire, he's worth $6.5 billion, all without a college degree. Having graduated from high school in 1957, Lauren attended the Baruch College in Manhattan. After studying business for 2 years, he dropped out and served a brief stint in the Army. Upon returning to New York City, he got a job as a Brooks Brothers store clerk. But one transformative experience at a polo match inspired him to start his own menswear company. In 1967, he established his own fashion line and began selling neckties through Bloomingdale's. We just want to reiterate that he had no formal design training and had only a few business classes under his belt. After selling $500,000 worth of neckties in 1 year, Lauren began rapidly expanding his business. In 1971, he expanded to women's wear, and by 1997, he took his company public. Success has continued to follow him with the turn of the century as he still owns a heavily influential billion-dollar fashion empire. The President. While not often considered a rich celebrity, the presidents of the United States have always lived quite comfortably. Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution states that the president is entitled to a salary, and in 1789, Congress set that salary at $25,000. Over the centuries, that amount has risen to $400,000 per year, with some presidents, Kennedy and Hoover, donating their entire salaries to charity. And while we should hold our government officials to the highest standards, 12 presidents were elected without having a college degree. President George Washington never earned a bachelor's degree, but he did have a surveyor's license from the College of William and Mary. Andrew Jackson, the guy on the $20 bill, along with his 2 successors, never even attended college. But frankly, a college education at that time was considered exclusively for those who were already wealthy. President Abraham Lincoln was famous for being self-educated, and his successor also never attended college. But in the late 19th century, attitudes began to change. From 1890, only 3 presidents never finished college, the most famous being Harry S. Truman, who enrolled at a business school in Kansas City but later dropped out. Jim Carrey. While all our celebrities so far are missing college degrees, our final 2 celebrities never even finished high school. Growing up in Canada, Jim Carrey used humor to cover up his undiagnosed dyslexia. Often labeled a disruption in class, he used humor to connect with his fellow classmates and would memorize texts to cover up his disability. But it was his mother's illness coupled with his father's sudden unemployment that caused Jim to drop out of school at the age of 16. He says that his family even lived in a van for a while and worked all together as security guards and janitors. This experience caused him to channel his emotions into stand-up comedy. And at 21, he made his first appearance on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. After his 1994 role as Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Jim's career took off, proving that after darkness comes the light. Johnny Depp. At the age of 15, Johnny Depp dropped out of high school, but he didn't do it to help his family, he just wanted to become a rock star. After his band The Kids earned local fame, Depp left his Florida high school and played local gigs for the next 5 years. Later, he and his band moved to Los Angeles. Well, the band thing didn't end up working out, but his connections landed him small roles on TV. After 21 Jump Street, Johnny began to rise as a teen idol. He was often asked to do anti-drug promotions and even did one telling kids to stay in school. Johnny claims that few people that he worked with ever knew that he was a high school dropout. Depp went on to become a cult star in John Waters' Cry Baby, but struggled with drugs and alcohol throughout the 90s. Things seemed to turn around for Depp in 2003 when he landed the role of Jack Sparrow in The Pirates of the Caribbean, which launched him into a mainstream acting career with an estimated net worth of $400 million. But things aren't always easy for the wealthy celeb. Now the father of 19-year-old Lily Rose, he finds himself switching roles. A Vanity Fair interview from 2016 reveals that Johnny was worried about his daughter's quick rise to fame at such a young age. But Lily Rose feels that her parents are in no position to tell her to get her diploma first. Well, that's 10 rich celebrities who don't have a college degree. Do you think that a college degree is necessary to succeed? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content daily.